we will um, go in and do these new pics and posts that I was telling you about. So when you go in to your groups, mainly only going to be doing this with electronics. I'll probably have you doing it with concrete later on, but right now start with electronics. So you can basically select all these locations pretty much. Well, let's make sure. When you click in to a client, he was saying, you don't know what all they do. Well, this is their location tags. This is what they do. So you could go with the first one, iPhone repair, and then you can go up here, find their address or their town, Mobile, Alabama. And sometimes probably have you search their area, because some of them have like they're in a smaller town closer to their bigger area, and we kind of want to mix these up. So we'll start with Mobile, Alabama, the biggest area. So like if some shops might be just for example, um, let's say they was in Chickasaw, which he's not, but let's say his thing was Chickasaw and you searched and it was this kind of area. Your main first city is the biggest area, but it's also going to be the hardest to rank. So we'll probably, you know, I'll have you do the main city first, and then as you get around, you'll come back, and you'll do some of these other ones the same way. But let's say we'd start with Mobile, Alabama. What you would do, go into Canva, and watch me not have it on this computer. Anyways, you would just basically this is going to be complicated now. When you go into Canva, you would just basically do like Mobile and then pick one of the tags for one of the services. Mobile, Alabama, iPhone repair. You would put that in with a picture of an iPhone repair just for this one client. And then you would go in, once you have that done, once you have the photo ready, you would go into photos here. You would get your photo ready, upload here. I'm just going to do a fake one because if not, I'm not going to go, well, no. Let's not be a, never mind, hold on. This gets really hard because this ain't my regular computer. I barely use this damn thing anymore. So even though this is, you would just put like Mobile, Alabama, iPhone repair is what you're wanting to target on this one. then this picture would be something else. It would say, this would be the one that you made with iPhone repair. It'll say Mobile, Alabama, iPhone repair. So then once you do that, you hit save. It'll optimize for all the locations, but you're only going to be doing this one for one location, which is the one location you're working on. This one happens to be iMedic. Schedule now. So basically, you just schedule. What the hell? Refresh this page. So when you filter, you wouldn't worry about that. You would just deselect this. iMedic. See, schedule that. You hit schedule. And since you're doing one by one, you could just do it for right now. Hit schedule, and that's it on that part. And then you would take the image. Once you schedule it and you post it, then you would go to your next step for the same client. You would make a post. You would use the same picture that you just made. You'll put in here, Mobile, Alabama, iPhone repair. But then here, you would do so you would put like he's actually over here somewhere. So you would put like down here you would put we offer iPhone repair for the following locations. Just come. That's basically it. And then you would hit, you would fill some of this out. Mix this up with call now and then learn more. Sometimes you'll do learn more, sometimes you'll do call now. And you could mix in some of this stuff. But this will basically get it. Make sure you don't have any. And then hit save. It's the same thing. You schedule. You're just working on one location, so you'd wait for this to pop in. Deselect this. Put in your location you're working on. Edit. Hit 1. You're doing it for right now. Hit schedule. That's pretty much it. So you do this for each client, just in a rotation. So this will get, because we can't automate this with just the way we've been doing all the rest of the posts and the pictures. Like this has to be done one by one. But we used to do this, and it gets huge gains because when somebody's searching, let's say they're looking for Mobile, Alabama iPhone repair, and it's in the picture now for this, and then you put it in the post, and then you also put all these because we're not putting all these little towns in when we're doing all the other post and pics that you do that are automated. We don't put all this in because we don't have multiple clients in Mobile, Alabama. We only have one. So by you doing this, going in and putting in, it's like for here, I would probably put this, basically a 20-mile radius, like always, all these little towns. And then you could go back once you do, once you finish this post, you would do another client and so on. And then you can rotate around the next batch. You could do like bolt on iPhone repair, blah, 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 in a different picture, and then do the same thing. And then change the wording a little bit for the post part. And then pick some of these little towns, some of these little areas. And then you can zoom in and more of these little things, more names will pop in. Like Lions Park, Rick Arby, Baltimore. You could put different things. You could put, we are within driving distance of Rogers Barbecue. Um, all these little different things, just like we're doing with the articles. We could do this one by one. We could even do like, hey, here's, you could figure out where he's at. Like, we're next door to, you know, you could do this. You don't have to do this all the time, but you could be like, we are within walking distance of Huntley Woods, West Hill, Berkeley. And you could go in here and be like, next to Walgreens photo, Buffalo Wild Wings, just all these different things are just different pictures and different posts that you could do within their GMB. Kind of the same thing that we've been doing with the articles that we put on their websites. We could go in and put some of this information in the post and Google will pick it up. But that's basically it. So you would just rotate it through. You do each one, keep it simple the first few, and then go in and do some more manual work with finding things nearby for the next one. It's just more of a fine-tuned, all these little towns out here, Bates, Highland. You could just go in. I wouldn't do more than probably 10, 15 for each post. But when you come back around and do the next batch, and then you could also, like, so Mobile, Alabama iPhone repair, then you could do Bates iPhone repair in one, and then you could do a picture with Mobile, Alabama Samsung repair, and then have a Samsung repair in the picture. And then in the post, you could say Mobile, Alabama Samsung repair, within driving distance of Big Creek Lake, Linda's Learning Farm, blah, blah, blah. Just have a bunch of different things in there. That's kind of what we're going to start doing. It's a lot more manual work, but it helps huge amount. Like if you mention like one of these things in the GMB, in these posts or these pics, and somebody's searching for iPhone repair in Mobile, Alabama, or in Fairview, let's say you end up rotating around and you do iPad repair, Fairview, Alabama as one, then if somebody's in this area and they search for iPad repair, there's a high chance that you're going to grab that keyword as like a number one ranking for this client in that situation. So But when you start getting in these smaller things, it's like there's less searches, but they're easier to grab because not everybody that's in business is trying to grab all these little things. Most everybody in this area is going to be doing Mobile, Alabama iPhone repairs. So when you're trying to fight for that keyword, you might have 100 people doing the same thing. Whereas if you do one of these other ones, nobody you might only have 1 or 2 people doing it. So that's why we would rotate through and do it like that. But like I said, just rotate it one by one. Do a pick. Mobile, Alabama iPhone repairs probably the first one to do for this person, and then you would do a post saying the same thing in the header, Mobile, Alabama iPhone repair, and then just be like, we're within driving distance of Chickasaw, 8 Mile, Mooncrest, Glen Acres, Bates, Sheldon, Malibu Heights, Airmont, Skyland Park, something like that. Just pick some of these and do like driving distance within those, and then that could be your first set for this client. And then you would just go to the second client and kind of do the same thing. You would pull up the map, and try to get the biggest city. I know some of the people are like in Miami. Their GMB might say something different as far as where they are. But if you pull up the map in their main city, like accessorize it, for instance, I know is in National City, but they're like 5 minutes away from San Diego. So you would probably do a San Diego iPhone repair in that situation, and on and on. But then you could do a National City iPhone repair in a different rotation, and National City Samsung repair, San Diego Samsung repair, if that makes sense. So you would rotate around, but you'd only do a pick and a post for each client, then go to the next client, and on and on and on.